Yo! What's up, fight fans? Welcome to another edition of Split Decision MMA, your weekly MMA podcast coming to you from the 209 here in Modesto, California.
3117 McHenry Avenue.
Bringing you all the news, rumors, forum readings, fight predictions, and recaps. We got a little bit to go over today with those.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just the tip.
Always as of
Or
course.
just bring you the tip of the news.
Live from the SinCal studios here in SinCal Industries for all your tattoo piercings, vinyl stickers, smoking accessories.
Whatever you need. Snakes. They got snakes.
They got snakes, that's right.
Yeah.
Snakes and stuff. That's cool.
Snakes and bongs.
And new for this season, we are brought to you by HealthLabs.com. HealthLabs.com provides fast, private, and affordable blood work for MMA fighters for as low as $79. You need to order your tests. Choose one of the 4,500 local accredited labs and get your results in as quick as 24 to 72 hours. It's that easy. No appointments needed, no insurance, no copay or hidden fees, just fast, affordable blood work at healthlabs.com. That's healthlabs.com.
And if you're a fighter and you're watching this, reach out to us. I'm willing to put up half of whatever your cost is just for you to come in and tell us how it was.
How easy it was.
How easy it was.
'Cause that's the big thing that they are known for is being very, very easy. Again, you don't have to have a copay. You don't have to have insurance. You don't have to have a doctor. You can just go in and they will take care of you.
So they're with them. They said they'll cut it in half. So we'll cut their half in half.
Who's going to cut it in half?
In
the
that
original, yeah, it's about half of what you would normally pay.
It's half about what you would pay, and then we're willing to pay.
Cut it half.
And then we'll,
I don't know about but Dennis for sure. We'll cut it in half.
Whatever. We're rich, man. We are rich.
As we found out.
Yeah.
We are also brought to you today by FuegoBox.com. FuegoBox.com is a new hot sauce of the month club where you can get to go beyond your Tapatio, Crystal, or Sriracha love and try 1 to 3 bottles of new hot sauce every month.
I'm telling you, I went and read a bunch of the reviews or testimonials, and apparently some people lost the taste. But I get, what I mean?
With these guys, what I do like about FuegoBox.com is they're not talking about just the gimmicky labels, the pretty labels, the over-the-top, burning your ass label of hot sauce. We're talking stuff that is great tasting, small batch, all these hot sauces of love. I'm sure there's going to be something that'll burn your ass. However, they're actually going to taste good and not just be hot.
Right. And another thing that I read is that a lot of them are based on true seasoning and not just, not
just over the top.
Yeah.
So make sure you go to FuegoBox.com, use the code MMA News for 10% off every single purchase. You can buy the sauces individually or sign up for the monthly box and get 1 to 3 new bottles every single month. FuegoBox.com, code My MMA News.
My MMA News. No, just MMA I like News. The paper thing. I got to get some paper stuff from me now. I want to start reading stories just so I can throw paper.
Them in the air. Let's get into those stories. First story of the week: Renan Barao also released from the UFC.
How are we going to get along without Barao?
One time described by Dana White as the greatest fighter pound for pound on the planet.
But that was when he was about to fight TJ Dillashaw, right?
Yeah, the first time.
Yeah,
that was right before that, as a matter of fact.
Isn't that usually when we find out that they're the greatest fighter ever is when they're fighting the person that he doesn't like?
Sometimes, yeah. Renan Barao went 2-8 over his last 10, however, and thus why he has been released.
2-8 after the bathtub?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, bathtub. We need to make a wiki page for bathtub. We need to do it
with the win,
or somebody out there watching.
My favorite thing to do is read the wiki page like immediately after a fight. Like it has to be within
before somebody actually comes in and does the editing.
Probably within 30 seconds. There's some great edits in there. I like to screenshot them and try to save them. But within usually about 30 seconds to a minute later, someone goes back and is like, "Hey, you can't be fucking with wiki. This is where people get
right." Yeah, or like when it says like so and so murdered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, murdered, decapitation, death.
Face was ripped by a dull chainsaw. Who saw it?
Yeah, win, you know what I mean. Moving on from there, John Jones gets his purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Johnson?
Yep. 2 years after he got his blue belt, he has now gotten his purple belt from Gracie Barra. Very cool. Good for John Jones?
Good for John Jones. I'm glad to hear something good about John Jones. Something positive from
the John Jones
media.
This coming out before the big fight this weekend. Obviously, we have UFC 245 going down this weekend. It's going on tomorrow. 3 belts on the line. We'll get to that a little bit later here in the show. However, in a recent interview, Colby Covington decided to tell a little story. And he was talking about his fight before Damian Maia in Brazil.
Oh, is this on the Candace show?
What's that?
He was on Candace Owens, I believe.
No.
Oh.
I don't know if it's when he was on the Candace Owens show. I can't remember where exactly the interview came from. He did say he does want Candace Owens to wrap the belt around his waist after he wins.
Right.
Because Jorge Masvidal got to have The Rock do it.
Right.
So now we need to have Candace Owens do it for
Sweet.
him. However, he
Sweet.
said, I've never told this story, but 3 fights ago, before my number 2 guy in Damian Maia, they told my manager that they were not going to re-sign me, that they didn't like my style, they didn't like that I wasn't entertaining. And this is before I became to understand the entertainment aspect of this business. And they told me, no matter what happens, you are ranked 6 in the world. We're not going to re-sign you. We don't like you. We don't like your character. We don't like your fighting style. He's only getting paid $30,000 to fight. He's like, after taxes, I'm only going to get like $5,000 to $10,000. He's also right then and there. I go out, I beat him up, I leave him in the pool of blood, and then I shoot on this promo on Brazilians, and I say, you're a bunch of filthy animals. Brazil's a dump. Because I figure I wasn't going to have my job. It doesn't matter. It goes viral. The UFC's
You're
like,
right.
well, now we have to re-sign him.
That's when you unzip
now
your
we have to
pants.
keep him forever. That was the turning point in my career. It was all just an act, basically.
Oh, dude. He unzipped his pants, put his balls on the table.
So we've been talking about this for a long time. How much of this did we think was Colby Covington, and how much was Colby Covington an act? And I think most people understood that it was an act.
I mean, we've been telling people it's an act.
Yeah.
And
I think he's just doing it for attention. I mean, he posts the spoilers online on Twitter for any movie, Star Wars, and
But
Marvel,
I think he is
and all
really
that
a
stuff.
Trumper, though.
Yeah, except for the fact that he hasn't voted in the last 6 years or something like that.
But there's a lot of people
And
that
knows
argue
absolutely-
for and against that don't vote.
knows nothing about politics.
There's still tons of people who know nothing about politics and vote.
True. I think he just does it because he knows it's controversial.
Right.
And now he's stuck with it. Do you think a lot of people came out, they talked to Max Holloway, they talked to Kamaru Usman, they talked to Amanda Nunes, and other people online about, do you think this is a way for him to kind of get out from underneath the character? Because if he loses, what's going to happen? I mean, where does he go from here? He doesn't have this rivalry set up with Usman. He doesn't.
What do you mean? Why does he have to get out from under the character?
Because it's turning on him.
But how many times has Chael Sonnen lost, and he's still the character that he plays?
But he has said it's a character from the beginning. Colby's tried to say, no, this is me, and now he's all of a sudden saying, hey guys, it's all a character.
Okay, but I just want to take a step back. I mean, there's not one person out there, except for maybe some teenagers, who believe that any of the girls that were in any of the videos were interested in him and not the money that they were being paid to shoot the promo. Right?
Yeah.
In all honesty,
yeah.
I mean, you never
you
looked at it. You never looked at that and went like, "Damn, Colby's getting ass," right? No,
it was like, Colby, how much you paying them?
Right, but I mean, that's the same thing with Khabib's boy too. When he's been taking pictures with girls, that girl's not there to be with them. That girl got paid to shoot the promo.
But again, do you think that he's trying to get out from under the act? Or is it like I don't know, I just feel that it's a weird time to all of a sudden be like, yeah, I kind of made the whole thing up. I mean, if you're going to play the heel, don't you think you should just keep it going forever? Maybe at the end of your career. I mean, you get the guys in the WWE.
I think it might.
You get guys in WWE that are been retired. They still go to conventions as the character.
Right, but I'm thinking. Okay, and again, maybe it's just the advocate in me. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe he feels that he's going to win, and with a win, he doesn't have to carry on this persona anymore.
Okay, I can see that.
You know what I'm saying?
He's trying to get out from underneath it to be like, all right, this is going to be the real me now.
Right.
Show I'm still a good guy, even if I win.
Let's go back to the stupidest. What was the thing? Somebody came in a ring with somebody who had something on their face, right? It was a masked fighter. It was Tito and somebody, right?
Probably, yeah.
And then they came in and they unleashed the masked fighter.
Yeah, there's Tito and Stephen Bonner.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, but that was,
But still, you know what I'm saying? I mean, these gimmicks and stuff aren't completely unheard of.
True. This might upset you a little bit. This is a little bit on the forum side of things.
Uh-oh.
These are some numbers that are being released here.
Oh,
This
no.
is PFL.
Oh, no.
PFL.
Don't cut me deep. Don't cut me deep.
There's been a lot of talk about how well PFL is doing or how they're going to continue to be doing. Someone has released some numbers.
Oh, no.
Okay? PFL playoffs that were at Mandalay Bay. PFL 7, right? October 11th.
Okay.
The Gate, 144,000. Tickets sold, 3,346. Tickets comped, 3,004.
Wow. That's not a
good look. This is a playoff event, too.
Wow.
Right? PFL 8. Tickets sold, 1,571. Tickets comped, 2,261.
But when they say comp,
PFL 9. Tickets sold, 411. Tickets comped, 2,202.
Ouch.
Tickets comped, when they say comp tickets, that's tickets that they're giving away for free to make the arena look full. Giving them to sponsors, giving them to celebrities, giving them to fans, giving them to people.
I'm going to tell you right now, on the flip side of that, though, they also can be comped to where, like you say, and somebody gave so much money, because this happens in football a lot too, where somebody gives a certain amount of money and literally they are given a section from the field to the next row. They are given that section. Would that be considered a comp?
Yeah.
Okay.
If they're giving away the ticket for free.
So, but I'm just saying, so in some of these cases, and again, this is me defending PFL, that somebody could have gave a lot of money and had big sections of comp. I know, because we've already been on the other end of the World Series of Fighting, where we knew.
I feel like this is the same deal, right? Like they're making it look full, they're making it look like it's big, but yet they're comping all these tickets. I mean, I don't understand the financials. Obviously, the guy who owns the Washington Capitals and the Washington Nationals and whoever, the guy that was a major investor in this, obviously has the money to just comp tickets and not feel like he's losing money. So
are you telling me Kevin Hart staged his car wreck just so he can get out from under PFL?
Hey guys, I kind of need to take my money back. I got stuff I got to handle. I need to.
So I was thinking about that the other day, and I asked somebody, I was like, how come Kevin Hart? They're like, he literally is broken half. I don't think he's doing anything with anybody. I was like, oh, okay. Because he's got Jumanji coming out, and you haven't seen him anywhere.
He's done a couple small promos.
But I mean, not like Kevin Hart usually would.
Right, he's not all over, but he's out there. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with the PFL at the end of the year. Obviously, they're doing.
Doesn't matter. We made all 3 years.
This is year 2.
No,
this is year 2.
No,
this is year 2.
No.
This is the second year that they've had this tournament.
You're not counting the year that they switched their name.
When they were World Series of Fighting? No, I don't count that.
But they were called PFL.
No, does not count. We already talked about this. We agreed on this.
It hurts my feelings when you talk like that.
Jumping to some more back to the UFC news. Justin Gaethje lashed out at Dana White after UFC president said that Conor McGregor will be getting a title shot at lightweight after a successful octagon return against Donald Cerrone. So his exact words, obviously they said that if
you think that's right?
If Conor McGregor beats Donald Cerrone, he will be given a title shot at lightweight. He will get another Khabib title shot.
And vice versa? If Cerrone wins, does he get a title shot?
That wasn't ever mentioned. Never once mentioned.
If I'm Cerrone, I'd be like, I want that shit on writing.
I think a lot of people are saying, look for, Cerrone needs to get these big paydays. Obviously, we do know McGregor brings a big payday because it's a lot of eyes in the sport.
Cerrone has to know this is the biggest fight of his life, not only for him, but for every one of us.
And Dana White said, look, come on, guys. Look at what Conor's done over the last however many years. He lost to Khabib in a fight that was, when you talk about bad blood, it was the next level. Gaethje is on his way up too, and we offered him a lot of fights, but he hasn't taken them. So Conor's in line for a title fight if he beats Cowboy.
Whatever.
Do you agree with that? Do you think he deserves a title shot against number 16 Cerrone?
No.
You're right.
Look, like we said, I expected that after the loss to Khabib that he would have to fight a couple, I would say 2 or 3 fights before he's back in there.
And now Dana White is saying after he beats Cerrone, which it seems like a lot of people, at first a lot of people were upset that they felt that Conor is already going to win against Cerrone, that it was like a sure thing, and they were kind of saying, he's going to get through this, it's not a big deal.
But I'm hearing that all over the place. That he's having the best camp that he's ever.
He's taking it serious now.
Yes,
and it's regimented.
Right. But he's also
all this kind of stuff.
But he's also running out of money.
I don't think he's running out of money. I'm sure he's got a lot of things to pay for, but I don't think that man's running out of money.
Okay.
I do think...
I'm going to tell you right now, the day after everything came out about him beating up the old man, they lost $500 million in orders, were canceled for his liquor. So if you think he's making money from the liquor, I highly doubt the liquor's doing that well. And then he's at least 4 lawsuits on the side, anywhere from $5 to $10 million apiece. What did he walk away with? $120 million from the fight with Mayweather, and then he's had a couple $10 or $20 million paydays in MMA.
I'm sure he's still making good money.
Okay,
I'm just saying. I think though, if you look at fighting matchups and that sort of thing, I think Justin Gaethje deserves the next title shot against the winner of Khabib and or Tony Ferguson.
The way that Gaethje fights, I think he's smart to pick and choose who he fights.
And if that's not going to happen, I do think he should get the winner. I mean, he's already beat Cowboy. If Conor does beat Cowboy, I think a Justin Gaethje-Conor McGregor fight would make sense for a lot of people and would be a good fight for everyone to watch. And
who you got in that fight?
Who wins?
Who you got in that fight?
Who?
Gaethje. McGregor.
Against Conor?
Yeah.
Gaethje.
Oh, yeah.
All day.
All day.
All day. His wrestling is far superior to Conor's. He can take a shot. He was caught by Eddie Alvarez. Eddie Alvarez hits like a ton of bricks, and will keep coming at you. And that was a war that he got through. It's the first time we've ever seen Gaethje.
But the problem with Alvarez, shorter, squattier.
Yeah, I would take Gaethje over Conor, especially just in the wrestling department.
Yeah, and you know where I'm at. I just hate Conor.
Talking about some guys, calling out some guys, we have Mr. Bibiano Fernandez. This is somebody that I've talked about a couple times on the show. But Bibiano Fernandez is over in 1. Henry Cejudo recently said that he is the Olympic champion, flyweight champion of the world, now bantamweight champion around. He is the greatest combat athlete of all time.
Maybe.
And he stole the title from the best pound-for-pound
No,
title.
you're not.
Bibiano Fernandez says that he believes he is the best in the world at bantamweight. Now, while Triple C can say that he is the best at the other weight classes, and yes, he is an Olympic, that Bibiano Fernandez would like to point out that he believes he is the best bantamweight in the world. He said... I
hate to tell him what Ben Askren just proved that ONE FC ain't shit.
Well, yeah, he's a multi-time champion, 5-time world jiu-jitsu champion, 3-time black belt. He's defended his belt multiple times. He won in Dream. He's won in 1. Bibiano Fernandez is somebody that has talked about going to the UFC. He at one point was going to go to the UFC. He did sign with 1. Has defended his belt multiple times. That is, in my opinion, the best bantamweight in the world. I would love to see him fight Henry Cejudo. However, just like other fighters, Cyborg calling out Amanda Nunes again from over in Bellator, it's hard to say you're the best fighter in the world when you're going to stay in 1 and say, oh yeah, I still want to fight
right
Henry Cejudo in the UFC, but it needs to be cross-promotion. It's never going to happen. The UFC will never cross-promote. They've proved that many, many times. So, yeah, I would like to see Bibiano Fernandez sign to the UFC. I think the UFC probably is still interested in signing him to the UFC. I just hope that at the end of the 1 contract that can actually happen. Hopefully it's sooner than later and it doesn't happen like Vanderlei Silva stayed over in Pride and over in Japan for too long. By the time he got to the UFC, we have had some entertaining fights. However, just wasn't the same kind of, excitement when they put him and Chuck Liddell against each other, which both were little, almost too little too late. Almost.
We need to have in July, in Fight Week, we need to have MMA World Day where every promotion brings their best in said weight classes and we have a fight
big
off.
Tournament.
Yeah.
Again, the UFC, I don't think will ever let that happen.
Why? If you're the best at what you do,
oh, I agree.
Why would you shy away from it?
I'm against it. I like the idea.
No, if you're the UFC, I'm telling you, quit being a bitch.
Tournament. I would love to see a tournament between guys and see who walks away with belts and things like that. Obviously, you have a true world champion, but it's the same thing with boxing. You got multiple, belt lineages and sort of things like that. But even, guys are at least able to collect them all over there.
But even the WBO will have fights with the WBA. You know what I mean? It does happen. It does happen.
It does. Speaking of boxing, Claressa Shields has been talking about coming to MMA. She is the unified middleweight champion in boxing. She is interested in transitioning and even saying she is willing to fight Amanda Nunes. She would like to fight Amanda Nunes in boxing and in MMA. Dana White recently said, we do know she is coming. She's definitely going to be here Saturday to watch the fights. I'll be honest with you, her people and I have talked, but I don't quite know yet. We're going to have to see. I know we're both interested and they are interested. So we'll see how the whole thing plays out. I have a lot of respect for her. She's going to be coming to the fight. It's going to be fun. Now, this could be the biggest crossover in female sports of all time. If this fight actually happens.
They get it to go. If they get it to go.
I would really like to see this fight happen in boxing or in MMA. I just think it would be fun for the fans. And it would be something very, very cool.
What makes her so sure of herself on the MMA side of it?
Apparently, she's been training a little bit. So, I don't know. I think...
Well, a little bit ain't going to get it done in this level.
True, but I think if you do notice a lot of fights, they do stay standing quite a bit. Now, you had guys like James Toney, who didn't take it serious at all, and you go up against a wrestler with Randy Couture that was obviously a plan by the UFC to make sure that we kind of embarrass boxing or kind of put down these constant things. But if you take two strikers, I think it's going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, but Amanda Nunes has a BJJ background, right?
She does. So she does have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. However, she obviously likes to strike. That's why I said I think this could probably happen more along on the boxing side.
Right.
We still are being told that that the UFC and Dana White is going to be doing something with Mayweather Promotions. They still say that Zuffa Boxing is alive, even though it's being delayed. Maybe this happens.
Okay, so the box
as about maybe the UFC will one day have a Dynamite style like Dream and K1 and Bellator sort of event where we're gonna have kickboxing and MMA on one card. Maybe we'll have some boxing bouts and some MMA.
Right.
I mean,
but on the boxing side of it, I mean, everybody knows that Dana, if he could have, and knew a way that he could have got his own boxing going from the beginning, he would have never been involved in the UFC.
I don't know. I think he would do both.
You think so?
I think he fell in love with the sport. I think he fell in love with the sport. I think he would do both.
Right. But I think at this point, he's realizing even with the money and clout that he has,
he still loves boxing.
Well, it's trying to get into boxing as his own promotion is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they actually do with the Zuffa boxing thing if it actually comes to fruition again.
Right.
They keep saying it's down the pipeline.
Because all the sanctioning board has to be thinking is, yeah, sure, one more boxing promotion. Yeah, just one more. But I mean, same thing we're getting with bare knuckle, right? Oh, yeah, just one more bare knuckle.
Which, by the way, I saw today, we can put this up real quick, that Joe Riggs is going to be fighting Hector Lombard at BKFC. That's some heavy hands.
Yes.
That's some heavy hands.
Yeah, that's the face splatter everywhere.
I'd be interested to see that. Let's talk into some recaps
be fighting
here.
Till the bodies hit the floor.
UFC on ESPN 7 was last week. Overeem versus Rosenstruck. And man, what a card we actually had. You said it was going to be boring.
And until the face split up, tell me
it was a good bout.
Knock it off.
The whole thing was a good bout.
Knock it off. No, okay, I'll give you the early prelim and the prelim were badass. Until the actual face explosion, it was a fucking yawner. Even the Aspen Ladd fight was a fucking yawner.
That one was definitely a yawner, but however, I thought the main event was not bad. We could go into, let's just somewhat recap the prelims there. Obviously, the big stories to talk about. Bryce Mitchell getting the second ever Twister submission win over Matt Sales. Says he watched and learned the whole thing on YouTube.
Thanks a lot, Eddie Bravo.
Thanks a lot, Eddie Bravo. He is now the second guy ever to do it. The first guy to ever do it?
No.
Korean Zombie.
Korean Zombie?
Yep, against Leonard Garcia back in the day. We dropping some knowledge.
First people to do it on TV.
No, in the UFC.
In the UFC.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's been done all over.
Tim Means gets the guillotine over Thiago Alves. Man, this was a nice stand-up bar. Nice stand-up war. Did you see Tim Means' legs afterwards?
Yes.
Oh, Thiago's got some heavy kicks.
You see Tim Means' ribs?
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Dude, he was all beat up.
It was bad.
On your main card, Rob Font got the win over Ricky Simon. Cody Stoneman gets the win over Song Yadong in a majority draw. Oh, wait. Never mind. No win. Draw.
No win. It's a draw. There's two of those draws.
Two of those draws. Yeah. Then you had Aspenland over Yanya Kutstakaya. TKO in round 3. Ben Rothwell gets the win over Stefan Struve with a TKO in round 2.
Ben,
now, there is
Ben the Nutcracker.
Yeah,
Waffle.
there is some controversy that goes along with this. Obviously, Stefan Struve got hit in the groin area twice in the bout. Once in the first round.
I'm just saying, go watch it. Tell me the second time.
Solid nut shot in the first round.
Second time.
In the first round, solid nut shot directly to the cup.
Yep.
Gives him a 5-minute injury timeout.
And he takes the whole 5 minutes.
And sends a warning to Rothwell. Dan Mergliotti did. In the second, caught him low again. Sat against the fence, contemplating
charges him the point.
Fight. Well, yeah. Dan Mergliotti charged Rothwell with a point and then was covering his microphone. I noticed that. I'm watching the fight live. Covering his microphone as he was talking to Stefan Struve and then later moved over. We do now have audio of that, and he basically told him, look, it was unintentional. I'm taking a point away no matter what because of the first time. I'm going to take the point away. It's not 2 completed rounds yet. You're probably winning both rounds, but if you don't continue, it's going to be a no contest. If you last through this second round and see how you do, you have 2.5 minutes left of recovery time. He then took the point away.
And you said that his corner was basically mimicking what he was saying.
Exactly.
They were saying the same thing. You're up. Let's get through this.
Yeah,
You're up. Let's get through
was
this.
Apparently telling him the same thing. A lot of people once they found this out, a lot of people were very upset, saying that the referee advising a fighter whether or not to stay in the fight is definitely unusual, even so much that Daniel Cormier and Paul Felder, who heard the comments, made these comments like, that's a little weird that the referee is telling him what he should or should not do. And in fact, it did not go his way. He continued to fight and was then immediately pretty much TKO'd. And you could even see Stefan Struve was visibly upset after the loss. From what I could
his
read,
nuts were hurting,
when I could read mouth, lips, and
Right.
when I could read lips and he was mouthing the words, "This is not fair. I was fucked up to begin with. I was all fucked up. I didn't get enough time. That this shouldn't have happened."
Okay, but at any point he could have said, "I'm done. I
And it would have
can't
been no
compete."
contest.
I
Yep.
understand.
Yep.
But he can't. I mean, you could be as mad as you want at anybody in there, but you are the one who, at any point, could have said,
Do you think,
"I can't continue."
So the question comes: do you think it was an inappropriate conversation for Mergliotti to give that information to Stefan Struve? That you might be up on 2 rounds. You could last out this round and be okay.
Okay, if before you told me that the corner was basically saying the same thing, I would say that it's inappropriate. But if his corner's saying the same thing, and then the ref's just reiterating what his corner's telling
But to
him,
hear it from a ref, do you feel as a fighter it's different?
I would say if it was just from any ref, but from him,
He's a good ref usually.
Huh?
Mergliotti's a good ref usually.
No, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I mean, he's tried and true. He's not really a one side or the other type of guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's on the level. I feel he's on the level.
Yep.
I would say he's in the top 5 best refs. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man.
It was very unfortunate, but Ben Rothwell does get the win over Stefan Struve.
But again, I want to reiterate that the person whose choice it was to continue
Was Stefan Struve.
was Stefan Struve's.
Marina Rodriguez gets the win over, a draw with Cynthia Calvillo. I mean, are you happy with, not happy, but are you
No,
in agreement with the draw?
So I was happened to leave one place to go to another place when this was happening, and I told them, I go, they already called one draw. I go, the likelihood that this is going to be a draw 2, and they're like, no way, not 2 and 1. I was like, that's
The way that it's going?
That's how the judges are feeling it, and you know me, I feel that.
Yeah.
If you can tell, same thing in the what was it, the Stamen fight? Yeah, you could just tell. I mean,
So one judge
It just
gave
wasn't
it 29-28 to Rodriguez. The other 2 judges scored it in a draw. That's why it is a majority draw.
yeah,
Could they have done more? Both fighters could have done more, obviously.
or one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Your main event,
And again, like we could go all the way back to the Rob Font fight. I mean, look at that. So we have a 29-28, and then you got a 30-27.
Yeah.
So I mean, what does the third judge see that the other 2 judges don't see?
to score it that high.
Right.
Understandable. The main event, Jair Zano Rosenstruck gets the win over Alistair Overeem, round 5 with 4 seconds to go. Knockout punch, which actually was a knockout lip explosion.
Yeah.
He caught him hard with a left, which stumbled Overeem back against the cage, followed it up with a big, huge right hand, split his lip
face open,
Joker style.
Put him on his ass.
Put him on his ass.
I like how he's asleep, and then when he bumps his ass, he wakes up.
Yeah. The ref immediately walked in and stopped the fight. Overeem stands up and, like I joked to you, it looked like he ran over and was like, I'm tagging home base. I'm okay.
Yeah.
You can't hit me anymore. Like, he literally turned his back, looked at the cage,
Right.
went towards the cage, put his hand on the cage to, like, support himself, and then was like, wait, why is the fight over?
Right. Right.
And then they showed his lip. His lip was very badly split. They showed the replay multiple times. If you haven't seen it, just go type in Overeem lip. You will
Right.
see it all over Google.
And people
I
keep
know
asking
a bunch
me-
of people posted it. People are asking, how did it happen? It looks like his lip just split because of the
It's
friction.
rough.
Possibly the corner of a glove. I don't know, but it was a pretty big impact.
And somebody asked me, they're like, did the ref not know how close it was to the end of the round? I'm like, he knew.
well-
I was like, because they had the
clap?
click stick.
Yep.
That happens at 10 seconds. So he knows there's 10 seconds left, But I think that with the explosion of the lip,
And the fact that he got up and stumbled into the
Right,
cage. You know
right.
what I mean? Like, that's when he
because he didn't have to
definitely-
get in the way at all,
Yeah.
and he could have followed up and beat his face in a little bit more.
Yeah, but once he hit the ground and then he stumbled over, that's when the ref called
Right.
it off. And the refs talk about all the time, like, just let it go. We're just going to let it go. But if it gets to that point that they feel that they need to, save him from further
It's
blows,
it's
a tough job.
The better the competition gets, and the faster this game is getting, it's getting harder and harder to be a ref.
yeah. Now, Overeem was winning the fight on the score counts entering the 5th round. He may have won the last 5 minutes up into that point. However, he lost his focus. And
Yeah, there was 2 10-8 rounds, right?
I don't know about 10-8, but I know they were pretty close. Let's look at the scores. Oh, then you're not going to give them scores.
No.
I'd have to look them up on a card. If anybody has the judges' scorecards, please send them to us. Otherwise, do you think if he would have survived, he would have won, right?
Yeah, I had him winning.
Yeah.
I mean, I yawned 3 times. I was like, oh,
It wasn't that bad.
Overeem's got
These
this.
guys were throwing pretty good. But man,
Had my hot cup of chalky, I was all ready for bed.
moving on from there, Combate 51 happened as well. This was on pay-per-view for the first time for Combate Americanas. Tito Ortiz gets the win over Alberto Del Rio in a submission in round 1. They said the viewership was very, very good. 3.1 million viewers in Mexico while it aired on free TV. Unfortunately, however, the U.S. pay-per-view numbers are not looking good.
I really didn't think the pay-per-view. I mean, I don't know why, especially since I believe that if you found the Spanish Facebook, you could watch it for free. I don't know. That's just what I heard.
Yeah, they said that it wasn't well, and we'll end up seeing what happens with that. This weekend, big card. This is the UFC's final pay-per-view of the... I have a subscribe button on?
Yeah, got a subscribe floating on you.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Final pay-per-view of the year, UFC 245, Usman versus Covington, coming out of Las Vegas, Nevada. On Fight Pass, your prelims... Punahile Soriano going up against Oscar Pechota, Jessica I against Vivian Araujo, Brandon Moreno against Kai Kara France, and Chase Hooper against Daniel Timur. Anybody you would like to pick out of those on the Fight Pass?
I'll take Moreno.
All right.
Moreno and Hooper. I'm going to take Hooper.
ESPN2 has your prelims. Matt Brown against Ben Saunders. What year is it?
Dude, where has Matt Brown been?
Ian Heinch against Omari Akhmedov.
I'm with the Russians.
Ketlan Vieira going up against Irene Aldana. And Geoff Neal against Mike Perry.
So what happens if Mike Perry loses this? Is he out?
I don't know.
You see, was it Ben Askren who put what's the over and under that Mike Perry's homeless in 10 years?
Ooh, that's harsh.
I know.
I
It's
mean, he's
rough.
got nothing else going on, but
Yeah.
Ben Askren's just sitting by Twitter.
Yeah.
And your main event, make sure you get this on pay-per-view. If you're signed up for ESPN Plus, which you should be to be seeing all these fights, you're going to be able to see this on pay-per-view. You got your main card, Peter Yan against Uriah Faber, coming out of retirement at 40 years old.
No, this is second out of retirement.
Second out of retirement. So
Right.
it's coming out
He
of
never retired.
retirement.
He never
I'm going
retired.
Yan in this fight.
He was never gone for longer than a year.
Uriah Faber is going to have to knock out Peter Yan, and I just don't see it happening. I'm taking Peter Yan.
Taking Peter Yan.
Yep.
All right.
Moving on from there, we have Marlon Moraes going up against Jose Aldo. Marlon Moraes was dominant in World Series of Fighting, has been a little hit and miss here in the UFC, string together some wins, got himself a title shot, and lost to Henry Cejudo. However, Jose Aldo is now dropping down to bantamweight, 135 instead of 145, where he normally is fighting.
Right.
The pictures coming out over the last 2 weeks have looked horrifying of his weight cut. However, he did come in on weight and actually didn't look that bad on the scale.
What I'm going to be watching for is for him to go outside of that 15% once he rehydrates.
Yes, and I do believe that Jose Aldo has the opportunity to steal this away from Marlon Moraes, and I'm going to be taking Jose Aldo as long as he looks good come the day of
Where's
fight.
this fight at?
This is in Vegas.
Okay, so
Come the day of fight, if he looks good, looks rehydrated, looks like a normal Jose Aldo, I will be taking him to win this fight.
because the problem with him coming down to this weight class is that 15% is a slimmer. So,
And he's already small to begin with. He cuts down from he's a 155 fighter that cuts to 145
right. So
and always has.
I'm really saying that once he rehydrates, because they're going to weigh him the day of fights now,
And I
right?
feel like they pick the worst. Obviously, people are putting up the worst pictures of him. They're going to get him right when he gets out of the sauna, right when he gets done with a fight where he looks a little more gaunt. He is not as rehydrated as he normally is. Again, I'll take Aldo for the upset.
Right. And all the pictures prior to is when he was doing the test drop.
Yeah.
So that's why you see him look that way. A lot of those pictures aren't how he's been walking around.
Right.
Right.
Moving on from there, you have your first championship fight, Amanda Nunes, the new GOAT, of women's
she's not
MMA.
the new GOAT. She's been the GOAT for a bit.
Of women's MMA.
Yeah.
Is facing Germaine de Randamie at women's bantamweight. Now, little information on Germaine de Randamie. She is 46-0 as a kickboxer. Dana White recently said she is the most decorated kickboxer in the women's division, especially to come to the UFC. She already lost to Nunes once before.
Way back.
Right. I believe that's her last loss was to Amanda Nunes. If we look at that, that was back in 2013. Her last loss was to Amanda Nunes, UFC fight for the Troops 3. However, she has won the bantamweight title before. She ended up dropping it because she did not want to fight Cyborg.
Right.
The one thing I do like about GDR, and the big thing that I have in this fight that may get her the upset, is the fact that she likes to use her range and knows how to use it well. She does not overcommit and get sucked into takedowns. She was able to do that against Pennington. She was able to avoid the takedown.
And she's already fought her, so I don't think that she's going to walk in there with that fear. Even though she lost to her,
right.
I don't think she's going to walk in with the same fear that she would have walked in against Cyborg, who she's never fought before.
I agree with that. Amanda Nunes, obviously, we know, has taken on the who's who at 135, 145. She beat Sarah McMahon. She beat Ronda Rousey. She beat Miesha Tate. She beat Holly Holmes, Shevchenko, and, of course, Cyborg, making her the greatest women MMA fighter of all time.
I still say Cyborg took a dive.
She fights both dangerously with heavy hands and technically with technical striking.
Yes.
Germaine de Randamie, in my opinion,
fast and accurate.
The one thing about Amanda Nunes is that she had a very technical fight against Raquel Pennington. She had a very dangerous fight against Cyborg Santos or Justino. I think that Germaine de Randamie is both those things. She is dangerous with heavy hands and very technical. This is going to be a good fight for Amanda Nunes, and this will cement her legacy. If she has not already, this has to be the one where she clears everything out, right? This would clear her out of the way so that she can fight Shields over in boxing. Because what else is there for her to do?
So if she does lose, what does this do to the whole scramble of fighters?
Oh, it scrambles it very, very well. I think if she loses, depending on how she loses, immediate rematch, just because that's what the UFC likes to do.
Right.
So fans want to see.
Well, it depends. Unless
if it's a stretched out decision, they'll give her a rematch. If it's a knockout, UFC does not like to give immediate rematches for knocked out fighters.
Right.
They
for very decisive fights.
Yeah, they will have to build her back up.
But then who do you bring in? Who do you bring in after that?
I don't know, man.
The Gun?
It's going to be interesting.
Right?
A really interesting division. I think GDR has the opportunity to. I'm going to be going with Nunes just because I think she's on this tear, and this will cement her. But do not be surprised.
You think Bullet comes back up to?
Why? She's already lost to her twice.
To the Randamie?
Yeah, no. You're saying will Shevchenko come back to fight Randamie if Randamie wins?
Right.
I could see that. I mean, I don't know. There's not much in that division that. I mean, there's a lot of people there that she could fight, but
right.
Do not be surprised how well Germaine de Randamie does against Amanda Nunes. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm not going to be surprised at all. But
That's
like I said, she's already fought her before, so there's not. I don't believe there's going to be that feeling out period.
Your co-main event is going to be Max Holloway going up against Alexander Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski is your number one contender at 145 featherweight. Volkanovski, in my opinion, has to hurt Max early. Otherwise,
but can you hurt him?
He's been hurt before. We've seen him get hit pretty. I mean, look at the Poirier fight. He's been hurt. Now
he's like a bee on your windshield.
That was a bigger guy. However, if he does not hurt him early and tuck and get him away, he is going to be in for a long night. And Max Holloway will walk away with this win. And I still believe, regardless of if he hurts him, Max Holloway is walking away with this win.
I'm taking Volkanovski.
Taking Volkanov.
Yep.
And your main event, you have Kamaru Usman, your welterweight champ, going up against Colby Covington. These are former wrestling partners, friends / training partners that have gone have bad blood, somewhat, right? You got Kamaru Usman.
Or is it? We don't know.
We don't really know.
We don't know.
You got Kamaru Usman, in my opinion, is the bigger, stronger version of the same fighter. He is the bigger, stronger, more dynamic, more imposing of the two fighters. The way he controlled Woodley really impressed me. That was the fight to me that made me turn and look at Kamaru Usman as this guy definitely deserves to be champion.
But I feel, and there's people at the water cooler feel the same way, that Colby would have handled Woodley the same way.
I don't know if he would have. Colby definitely is a counter fighter and a grinder. He will constantly grind.
Right.
However, his game is not as exciting. I mean, you're right. His character, he knew he had to make a character exciting because his fight style is not exciting. He is also not that good at the distance. He is not good at keeping the distance. He is not a dynamic puncher from the outside. He has to get in close. This is why I thought that Robbie Lawler would actually do well against Colby Covington, because Colby has to get in to land shots, and when you step into that against Robbie Lawler has the heavy hands. Robbie just fought a shitty fight.
Right.
He just did not.
No, but Colby also took damage to come in and take those shots.
For sure, but I feel that Robbie had a worse fight than Colby had a good fight.
Right.
And I believe that Kamaru Usman, again, being the more imposing fighter in the way that he controlled Woodley, he's going to control Colby Covington, and I'm taking Kamaru Usman to keep the belt and win this one. What are you going with?
I'm taking Colby.
Ah!
I picked as of Wednesday. I just have to stick as of Wednesday. I told people at the shop I'm going Colby.
I'm done.
You're done? Come on, man. This is why it's a split decision. You want me to agree with you all the time?
Done.
If you want me to just agree with you, I'll go back on that side of the camera and we can get somebody else up here. I don't know what else you want.
No. That's good. That's fine. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
You do what you want to do.
Yeah, it's like having a wife and a girlfriend. Nobody's happy. Nobody's happy.
But that's it for your show this week. Make sure you check out UFC 245. Make sure you go to Walkie Craft on Etsy to pick yourself up some Christmas gifts. He's doing the big man cards. Get yourself out there. Also, make sure you go to fuegobox.com. Keyword MMA news to get yourself 10% off. This is make a great Christmas gift. Sign yourself up or someone else up for a monthly hot sauce collection.
And what's the discount code?
MMA News.
MMA News. Discount code. MMA News.
At fuegobox.com. I can't wait till our box comes in and we get to try some hot sauces.
And then
as always, healthlabs.com. Get yourself fast, private, and affordable blood work for all your MMA needs. Healthlabs.com. That's it. That's your week of the show, man.
Yeah?
We'll see you right before Christmas.
Is that next week?
Yeah.
It's coming up quick.
Coming up quick.
Coming up
Guys,
quick.
have a good night. We'll
I'm
see
going to
you
go shopping.